a bad image mainly due to lack of awareness by the users.
We are having a lot of problems with plastic bags in the country, as you know. They are found everywhere in the country, and they are a nuisance to the environment because they're harmful to fish species. When you burn them, the fumes are harmful to people's health, and then they also are not durable. So what we said is there are options to deal with this problem. One way is to ban them completely in the country or find another solution.
Plastic waste is a big problem in the Gambia. If you look at our waste stream, it constitutes almost 30% of the waste generated. And it's also an eyesore. Wherever you go in this country, you find plastic waste. And this is increasing by day. With the coming of new plastic, water bottling companies, which is, some of them are within the communities. We have the protein, water producing companies within the communities, which are producing a lot of plastic waste. And there's also an increase in the importation of plastic material, packaging materials into the country. And this has increased the amount of plastic waste that we generate per annum. And this has an accumulative effect. Why? Because the amount that is produced is not collected. It's not, it's far more than the amount that is disposed of. So with transience of time, we'll find it difficult to actually correct the situation.
The chemical building blocks that made plastic versatile are the same components that might harm people and the environment. Plastic is one of the major toxic pollutants of our time. Being a non-biodegradable substance composed of toxic chemicals, plastic pollutes earth, air, and water.
And it also affects the environment and the health of the people. Why? Because the environment, is highly polluted, and this could have, effects on, marine life, because all the water water run off from the highlands, goes into the water bodies, and during the process, it carries along some of these plastic bags, which can be, have serious impact on marine life. And marine ecosystem. And when you look at the environment too, some of these plastics are not biodegradable. They can stay, in the environment for several years, and that could, affect the ecosystem of the environment. It can, make the soil become, less productive. And if you look at, animals too, they also are affected because, many livestock and smaller ruminants are dying of plastic ingestion of plastic. Because some of these things are swallowed by or eaten by our livestock, and they eventually die of them. So we don't have to allow some of these things to happen. If you go to Bakote right now, the environment is highly, then it doesn't populated, and we have children living in there. But when there is fire, fire at the dump site, people there, live in a living hell, because they are exposed to high volumes of concentrations of highly toxic fumes, which can cause cancer. And who knows? There is no study though conducted to ascertain how much the degree of exposure of these people to this type of fumes. But definitely when you burn plastic, you are expected to have fumes that are very dangerous to the health of people.
Along with the many benefits that modern society has obtained from plastic production and consumption, the high degree of household refuse and industrial disposal of plastic materials poses a great threat to human health.
You find out that people also use these plastic bags to kindle their fires when they were about to cook, which is also dangerous, because when you take plastic and to light your fire, you're causing problems, because the culinary environment is so tight, looking at the Gambian situation. The culinary environment, a culinary area is so small that the fumes that are coming from that, fire, and this is barely plastic. You have, dioxins and phenols coming from the plastic, and you're exposing yourself to this, and which can cause cancer. And sometimes, you find some of the women carrying their babies on their back, and the babies are also exposed to that. So that by the time they reach a certain level, they start getting sick, of sickness of which the cause might not be easily detected. Why? Because you might not have the facilities to be able to trace, diagnose a cancer at early stages. So these are some of the problems that we are facing. When women buy oil or palm oil, they put them in plastics, and when they come, they have to heat. They have to heat the pot, the cooking pot. They have to heat the cooking pot, and then put the plastic inside, so that the content is emptied into the pot, and that leaves some of the plastic is in the pot, and this could also be dangerous. That's why we're having a lot of stomach problems. People are complaining of stomach problems. Why? Because those are serious, very dangerous health practices.
Plastics should be considered as raw materials rather than waste.
The best way to solve this problem is at the source. Can you imagine how many enforcement personnel you would need to go around just in Banjul, in Serekunda, in Basse, in Farafenya to enforce this kind of law? You would need thousands of people. So the easiest way to deal with it is at the source itself, the factories where they manufacture. Reduce it there, and the demand would be less in the other areas of the country. And that's the best way forward, because you cannot enforce it by having personnel everywhere. It's not possible. You have so many thousands of people doing this selling of plastic material, and to go around every one of them to enforce, you need to employ 20 times more than the personnel we have at the moment right now. The recycling is one of the most effective strategies to deal with it. Let people be paid a good price when they bring the material, and they would just go and recycle it. And then reduce at the source. Let the factories reduce it as well, or make ones which are durable so you can use them overlay. If I had a plastic bag that I can use 3-4 times, why should I buy a new one? I would just fold it and take it to the market and put my goods in.
I remember we used to have a bottle for palm oil that we buy every day. But now that these plastics are available, nobody bothers to...
Yeah, my mother had a special bottle for palm oil, a special one for granule oil, and even for, what's it called, tomato paste. So each one had a container, and they were just washing it and using it all over again. But now, because prices were cheap, that's why it's affordable, and everybody can just put anything in plastic. I even bought a pen, writing pen in a shop, local shop, and they gave me a plastic bag to put a pen inside, which I could put in my pocket, because it's so cheap. So make it expensive, reduce it at the factory's level, and you will see an impact.
Plastic bags are the fastest growing component of the waste stream, and plastic pollution like single-use bags are among the most commonly found items during national cleaning exercise. The Gambia has strict anti-littering bills.
We are enforcing vigorously. As you know, the littering is not just plastic bag, but even wastewater from compounds. It's not allowed now to discharge wastewater from your toilets and from your showers into the street. You have to be a sockaway in the system. And we have a court now in Kanifing with a magistrate, and we find people who are apprehended committing this crime. But to apprehend somebody throwing a plastic bag, can you imagine what kind of enforcement that would be? Are you going to have a policeman in every corner of the country to watch over that? Because somebody can be just walking and throwing it. Somebody can be driving a car and throwing it. So the best way to sensitize people about the impacts of plastic in the environment, have TV programs, have radio programs, in newspapers, so that they know that what they're doing is harmful to all of us.
In the quest to pave the way for a healthy environment, the National Environment Agency convened a meeting with stakeholders in the manufacturing and importation of plastic-related materials to discuss means to curb the proliferation of plastic.
We conduct this exercise by inviting stakeholders, those that import plastic waste, plastic materials, packaging materials, and those that manufacture them in the country, and those that are involved in water trade. so that we come together and come up with a solution.